Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Owl Watch. That is Ken, and I am Don, and we're here to talk about the playoffs. Hello, everybody, and welcome
Hello,
back to
and
Owl
thank
Watch.
God we
That is
didn't make
Ken,
the
and I.
same mistake as last time where
We
we
did
forgot to
not.
unmute our mics. Thank God.
Yeah,
That would have sucked.
we're
Again,
learning, finally.
learning. So, the last we all got a chance to talk to each other, it was Philly Boston and London versus the Valiant
It
for
was
the semis.
Philly, New York, by the way.
Whatever.
It
I don't care.
ended up being just about as bad.
If not worse.
Yeah.
So, oh boy, that was an emotional ride, especially the London Valiant game. That we had the pleasure of actually watching that game together, and that whole time was just me screaming over everything.
Yeah, that was pretty rough.
It was fun. I loved it.
It was very
Um,
enjoyable, but, I mean, Ken can attest to this. I definitely predicted at that moment that it would go to a third game. I kind of expected the Valiant to come out a lot stronger than they did, and obviously they didn't. They just kind of fell apart.
yeah. By the way, this is my last podcast. I'm done with Overwatch because my team's out, so I'm gonna go start playing League. Later.
Hey man, it's kind of fun not having a horse in the race. Kind of just
Wow.
watch for the sake of watching.
Yeah. No, it's. I think I said this in the last podcast as well. The fact that it was to London and that it wasn't a sweep, I'm fine with it. Do I wish my team was there? Obviously,
Yeah,
but with the way London played, I'm fine with it.
yeah. It's just kind
So
of one of those things that
it is what it
they
is,
were just better than
unfortunately.
you.
Yeah, and I can't be mad at that. It wasn't like by a fluke. So
No, they were. London has arguably looked like the best team in the playoffs, and we'll talk about that more a little bit later. But yeah, they just kind of got outclassed.
yeah, they did make it enjoyable though. That's one thing I will say. Uh,
Except for the first couple. Well, I mean, the first map, I think you guys got like 3 kills on defense, something like that. It was just, it
eight,
honestly
thank
looked like quick play.
eight, thank you.
Still, it looked like quick play where the other teams got like an attack torb. It just is what it is.
Last night when we played.
Yeah, that was fun.
I think we won that one too.
We did. We won
See,
most of them last night.
the Actor works.
But we're getting off point.
So, I guess best way to start is the Philly New York game. Philly has advanced to the finals. They had a very, very clean, I would say, sweep
Well,
of.
yeah, on Wednesday it didn't look like New York had any chance, and at least New York put up a fight on Saturday and gave us something.
True.
I mean, there's some
Yeah.
definitely glaring issues that we saw, and I think a lot of that is just thanks for following Cog Whistle.
Hey.
But I think a lot of that was just to deal with possibly meta changes, not knowing what being in the playoffs is going to be like. I mean, it just didn't seem like they had their typical New York flair, and just fell apart.
True. Uh, for and as I say this, I understand this includes Valiant as well. When you're a top seed team, I don't think the well, it's the playoffs, it's the this, it's the that should matter. You'd think it'd be more of the bottom seed teams, the mid seed teams. They're the ones that are going to be like, how did we get here? What are we going to do?
Yeah,
Obvious,
but they had more time to experience that.
yes, but again, skill goes a long way, you know?
Yeah, but I've always subscribed to like, I mean, you and I both know you don't play Overwatch for a month, or play it sparingly for a month. You lose kind of that crispness. You don't have as many flicks. I mean, just all that stuff that you kind of get used to goes away, and
Absolutely.
we don't know how hard they were practicing. Maybe they thought it was just going to be like, it's the lower seed, like we'll be fine. We've been fine for the first 40 games of the season.
Yeah.
Like no big deal.
We've been fine the whole season. What do you mean?
That is the first 40 games.
Exactly.
But like maybe it was something like that. A little complacency came in, but again, we
I
don't know.
I would like to think, or I'd hope to think, that with what happened to the Glads and the whole thing with it was Fisher, I believe,
Yeah, it's Fisher.
that the New York coaching staff would have been like, "Hey, knock that off. We're in the semis now. This is not the end of the stage. Whatever. No, like
Yeah,
we're here. We saw the Glads lose out because they decided not to take it seriously. That can happen to us."
yeah, and being that it is a, I don't want to say an all Korean team. I think it's just a primarily Korean team. I mean, you'd think they would have that generic kind of work ethic to where they, I mean, most Korean teams dominate because they put their heart and soul into it, and just that it is what it is.
That's
They
why we
work
thought Seoul was gonna fucking dominate the whole year.
exactly. They just put in more work than most other teams. So, but I'd agree with saying maybe it wasn't the practice issue, but I don't know. There's nothing really else to blame it on. Just 'cause there's a lot of just people out of position, weird strategy calls, a lot of just random switches that just didn't really work out, and they just drop stuff super fast. Like they would try to put, all right, Jonax now on Roadhog just for a little bit. He'd get caught out of position, die. Then all right, I'll swap back to Zenyatta, and then maybe I'll throw in a little Ana here and there, and just there's a lot of things they were trying to do that just
Yeah.
didn't work out, in my opinion.
It kind of seemed like they couldn't commit to a play. They seemed to be shaken, like like I'm saying, it seems like they would start a play that should have worked, and then it wasn't. And they're like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah,
I don't know how to do it. They're not failing immediately.
yeah. And
Because Philly was what, the fifth seed, I think.
sixth, London was
They-
fifth. Yeah,
Okay, so they were fighting the second to last seed as the top seed. So when their main plans aren't working, I can see them getting rattled and being like, oh no,
well,
why are they?
yeah,
Okay?
you'd think after that first 3-0, they're like, all right, I guess we got to take them seriously.
Yeah,
But you just didn't see that. Like, yeah, okay, Pine came out hot on Saturday. He's playing well.
Yeah.
But you can't win a playoff game by yourself. And it seemed like New York was just trying to do that. Like, have one person kind of just take an entire fight and then reset and hope everything's okay.
can't do that though. That's why they implemented that whole thing in just the regular game. That's the queue up, finding this, finding that, finding
Yeah.
the good teammates. That's why they added all that, because you cannot win. It's not Call of Duty. It's
Yeah,
not.
you can't just solo.
Yeah, we've all seen it, but this is not a game. You just can't.
Yeah. And I mean, you saw it with Philly because they were playing as a team. They were playing ultra aggressive. There's no doubt about that, but they were playing ultra aggressive as a team. And for most of it, they just shit stomped New York.
Yeah, they did.
And it was
I
great
think
to
that-
watch, but
We had talked about that before as well. That being aggressive as a team means that you're an aggressive team. Being aggressive as a solo player means you're out of line.
yeah, you're out of
not-
position. You're going
Yeah.
to get randomly taken out, and now it's a 6v5. And yeah, sure, you can still win a 6v5.
But now it's that much harder.
Exactly. And then at that point, you do need some solo play to take over, or the ult economy to be in your favor, and just be smart with it.
But even then, even if the ult economy is in your favor, if because I'm just using a position. I mean nothing to any of the players. If my tank is out of position, so I have to now waste 2 or 3 ults to get this point that should
Yeah.
have been if I just had my tank or my healer or my extra DPS.
Yeah.
That's a waste. That's bad ult economy. I don't care if I had more. All you've done is given the enemy team more ult economy or just charge in general.
Yeah.
To where the next fight where they would be far away if they go off, now they have their ult, to now we're out ults, we're trying to catch our breath, and it's just, no.
At that point, it depends on the situation, because if you're talking about like a capture point map or King of the Hill, whatever you want to call it, then yeah, it's not worth the risk of losing your ults to possibly win a fight. If you're talking payload, then it's kind of whatever. If you win the fight, it's worth. If you don't, you just lost more. So it kind of depends on what ults you have. Like say you have Dragon,
Mhm.
All right, that's a good zoning alt. So if you can get lucky with the dragon, which you saw Pine do a couple times on Li Jiang, like just dragoning where they didn't expect the dragon to be, and they accidentally walk into it, and
Yep.
that sort of stuff, then all right, that's fine. But I mean, if you're trying to pull out like a whole hog or like a Winston ult, then you're kind of just wasting those at that point.
Exactly. Um, I know Winston is a very good stall kind of
Yeah, absolutely.
only because it's going to knock you out of position no matter what. But I do agree with you overall though that just it's I feel like they just weren't there and they got scared over Philly being as good as they were. Because I know I said the Philly Boston game was boring, and it is what it is.
Yeah,
But this game, it wasn't boring, but it was one of those like, I can't believe that Philly did this. They 3-0'd them on their Wednesday match,
Yep.
and then it went 3-2 on their Saturday match, which was better. And we were thinking that it was going to turn into, you know, going to match 3.
but I mean, even but for me, even watching it, it didn't feel like it was going to go to map
Yeah.
5. Like there were some fights that were happening on. I think that was also we have a guest. I think that was also on Li Jiang where Philly just kind of somehow managed to hold on with like one or two people on point and win a fight and just kind of make it work. At that point, for me, it was just like, even if New York wins this match, it's all over.
Yeah. I mean, the mindset wouldn't have been there either way as well. So I
Yeah,
feel like that put a lot into it. Because they were number 1 seed sitting there, and then they had to fight that hard just to try and keep their position.
yeah,
No, they would have been out. That would have been it. Unless they had swapped in their B team to finally get their 5 minutes in the sun. There's just
yeah.
nothing.
I mean, at that they tried. They brought Janice in, which was an odd swap, but I think they've been doing that throughout the season. But still, it's just not the position for it. But you mean you could see it on their faces after I think it was the Junkertown game, where they were just all kind of staring out into the distance, weren't saying anything to anybody, and they just looked
Down.
defeated already.
Yeah. Because the announcers were even making comments in the game, which they never get this in depth of how
Yeah,
little they were talking. They literally were like, "Oh, it's silent on the New York side. You cannot play professional Overwatch silent."
in reality,
you-
you shouldn't be able to play any Overwatch silent,
Yeah, absolutely. But I'm
especially
saying
at that level. Yeah, no, I agree.
you're fighting for your chance to be the first Overwatch League champions,
Yeah,
and you're not talking. At that point, any 6 stack that has their mics on is doing more than you. Forgetting getting flicks, forgetting being better. Unfortunately, that big component maybe
Yeah.
would have won an extra fight or helped them set up another thing.
yeah, it definitely could have helped on Kings Row. That was kind of the glaring one where I want to say Philly finished it with like 4 minutes to go, which was just stupid. It should never be that long. But at that point, you could just see they were trying weird things, and there was no communication between them on what they were trying, who they were going after. People were out of position. I think at one point you had, I forget who was on the Rhine. They peeked around the corner for second point, overextended, didn't have anybody backing up, any DPS, anything, and I mean they just got snowballed there. All right, you lose your Rhine, and then they started losing DPS, and healers tried to come in to save them. Then, all right, then that's your second point.
Yeah.
Then you've got spawns coming back from third point, trying to make it to the front of third point, and
then
you're screwed
sec-
because you're just streaming in. You got one by one by one, and boom,
Yeah,
map's
what
over.
do you do? Hold back and try and regroup, or do you try and push in? But that also brings what we were talking about before, how you can't solo man it.
No,
You can't solo man it, you can't be silent, and you can't get freaked out because your first play is not working. And
exactly.
if unfortunately if the roles were flipped and this is why Philly lost, I would say it's expected, being the lower seeded team. Yes, they're in the playoffs, but still.
Oh no, I'd agree. It's just that it is the number one team, the team that's been dominating the entire league all
And we
year.
were all afraid. every team was like, "Oh man, I got to play New York. Is this
Exactly.
streak gonna end? Is this gonna end?" For
Exactly.
them to play like this, it's like,
What
what
were
were
we
we
afraid
afraid
of?
of?
Exactly.
Yes. um, so congratulations to Philly.
Oh,
I
110%.
I give it to them. I'm so happy to see them in there. Um, I think it's great that we have the playoffs now. That we're the number 5 seed and the number 6 seed. That's great.
Well, it just goes to show that next year or the year after that or whatever, it doesn't matter where you're seated. You're in the playoffs. Now it's
Yeah.
just put in work. Do whatever you can to make it happen. Play
Yeah.
your best Overwatch in the playoffs and you got a shot.
Yep. I think this, going back to, I think, our first podcast, New York, I think, could have pulled out of this with, how we talked about how there's more teams coming in, there's more players, all that kind of stuff. If they had an actual B team, not a B player, not 2 B players, a full B team. Now, I don't know if there's rules that state you cannot sub out your whole team. I do not know if there is, and if there is, whatever.
I'm not sure.
But I feel like if they would have had an actual B team and gotten all their guys off and went, y'all need to take a break, hit the showers, take a lap, go take your cigarette break, and then come back.
Yeah.
They needed that.
Oh, absolutely. Unfortunately, they just didn't get a chance. I mean, you'd think that with the gap between Wednesday and Saturday would have kind of provided, like, you just got 3-0'd by the 6 seed. That should have been a wake-up call right there. Like, nothing
yeah.
against Philly. They played great Overwatch there. I mean,
No,
they're in
it's
the
all-
finals.
It's an insult to Philly. It's an insult to New York. Because to Philly, if they would have lost, again, they lost to the number 1 seed. Again, situations flipped them. They had a plan, it didn't work.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
No,
But
yeah.
they pulled it out. They were a professional team. They were aggressive. They broke through New York's plan, and New York sat there crying. You watch them sit there crying.
Oh,
It's just-
absolutely.
New York deserves this. You are the number 1 team. Everyone's afraid of you. You lose a couple times to the 6 seed, and then you cry. Get out of here. I feel like that's going to hurt them more next season than it did here.
I don't know if it'll hurt them next season. I think there's going to be a lot of bitter emotions that say, all right, we just need to be better and just come out and sweep a 40-game season. Like,
Yeah.
that sort of mentality might come out. And then whenever they do make the playoffs, if they do make the playoffs, then there's going to be a huge mentality that's just like, all right, we need to practice as hard as we can. We need to do all of these crazy strats just to see maybe if we find one little weird thing that works and then try it. Like, I
Almost
think
what they should Twitch stream, or not stream, but Twitch surf almost, and find those random players, playing for 3 people that are like, oh, I haven't lost a match since the game came out because I know for Widow, if you just do this, everything works perfectly, and that's it.
Yeah, no, I definitely think next year will be kind of a wake-up call for them. Well, this was a wake-up call for next year. If they do make it back to the playoffs, I think at that point New York will be a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, I definitely think all the teams from this year, all 6 teams, are forced to be reckoned with.
Yeah,
Going into next year, I know Glads and Boston have already been out. I'm still going to worry about playing them.
oh, absolutely.
I'm not going to go into this and go, oh, well, they were out first round. I'm going to go, oh, no. And I'm honestly going to be more worried about the teams that just missed the cuff, and Shanghai. But the ones that just missed the cuff,
Yeah.
I'm really going to worry about them. They're going to be the ones I think we're going to see more of them in the playoffs next year than we are anybody from this year again. I think New York and one of the LAs is going to be in,
Mm-hmm.
and then whoever wins the championship. I think they'll be in, and then the rest are going to be new. I don't think it's going to look close to what it is this year.
Well, you've also got 6 new teams coming in that we know nothing about. So we could have a new team come in, say from Toronto or whatever, that is this year's New York. Like, you just don't know how it's going to work out. We also don't know how long the season's going to be or anything like that. But no, I agree. I think it's going to be a lot of turnover for next season because now everything's known. You know what the week feels like playing. You know how 40 games is over the course of a couple months. I mean, you're just used to it.
Mm.
And you're going to see a lot more crazy strats, I think. Just trying things out week to week.
Absolutely. So, like we were saying before, congratulations, Philly.
Oh,
You've
yeah.
done a phenomenal job. us at Owl Watch commend you for doing a great job. New York, you tried your best. You slipped up, but again, you were forced to be reckoned with.
Oh, yeah.
Congratulations.
Get them next year.
You're still in the semis. Doesn't matter. You're in the semifinals. That's nothing to sneeze at.
Oh, yeah. It's no matter what would have happened, if this season's a success. You made the playoffs. You got a first round bye. It's the same thing we're about to talk about with Valiant. Like, you got this far.
Yeah, it's still good
something
job.
to say. All right, we accomplished 95% of our goal. Now next year, let's focus on the final 5%.
Exactly.
So
that brings us to our next topic of the London LA game.
do you need to take a minute to compose yourself?
No, actually, you know what?
You
I think
good?
I'm good. I cried beforehand before we even got on our call, so like it's all out for a little bit. Afterward, it's just gonna sob hysterically.
Oh, of course.
Whatever. Me as an LA fan, I have to say congratulations to London for beating us and doing so well.
And
I have to.
doing it handily.
You know what? I didn't think London was going to get here to begin with. I thought they would have been out already.
Yeah, no, I agree.
And then when we played, I thought, honestly, they were just going to sputter out. And London, LA was just going to run over them. And it was the complete opposite. So, one thing I do want to touch on, in their first match,
Yeah.
the both of us agreed on this, and correct me if I'm wrong, I believe we did, was I feel as if the announcers kind of sold LA short.
Oh,
by a little bit.
100%.
So what ended up happening was London won the first two games, 3-1 on Junkertown, 2-1 on Lijiang Tower. LA won, Kings Row, 1-0. And then they tied on Hanamura.
Yep.
With this, they were forced to go into game 5. So, just because of that tie. I feel as if the announcers sold LA short by not saying that there was a tie in there and just going, oh, well.
Yeah, they kind of just kept saying it was a 3-1 and didn't mention anything of the tie. But that Hanamura game was ridiculous.
Yes, it was.
It was great
That's
to watch.
why I was screaming.
So, yeah, I think the announcers probably could have done a little bit better and be like, it's the 3-1-1, something along those lines. Or
Set a tie. 3-1 London with a tie in between. I would have been, all right, fine.
yeah,
Whatever.
because that almost counts as a win to Valiant. Like, yeah, you still had to win the last one and then win whatever the sixth map would have been. But at that time, that kind of helped keep momentum in their favor after just winning and really dominating Kings Row. So yeah, they were definitely sold short a little bit on that, but I can't really put any blame on the announcers for that. It just kind of is what it is because it shows up on the Overwatch League page as a 3-1.
Yeah, I know.
Like that's just how they
me
score it.
That's just me being an LA fan being like, what? Sold my guys short. A precious baby soon, making them sad. How dare you? Kind of thing.
Yeah, I agree with it. Anybody who has a draw should be classified as one. You should be able to see that a little bit easier, but is what it is,
So I will say though, back to I guess being professional, if you want to call it that.
I wouldn't, but sure.
LA played like garbage at first though in their first match. They did not play well by any stretch of the imagination.
And in the second match,
Absolutely. Worse in the second, but in the first one, just
it was a slow start. Very
'Cause
slow start.
we had started watching this as soon as it came on. We were able to watch the pre-game and go right into it. And oh my god, I was watching in pain. Just nothing was working. They
No.
weren't anything. Like London rolled through point B like it was nobody's business. It was almost as if LA wasn't there to even fight them. I remember them getting point A and getting point B. Just that was it. One quick motion.
Yeah, and then they had several minutes for C, and I remember you kind of being like, well, okay, that's a quick pull or a quick attack, and they held up. I mean, they kind of got their shit together for a little bit, and I think either made it go to overtime, or just with maybe like 30, 45 seconds left, something along those lines.
Yeah, I think they had 45 seconds left, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, okay.
Which, I'm not going for the obvious pun. It's a valiant effort to go from probably 5-6 minutes on the clock down to 45. That's a lot of holding. There's a lot of ults in there. There's a lot of fights in there.
Oh yeah.
That's a lot. So I have to give them for that. But even still, I get it. Sometimes you just run out of gas in the tank, and 45 seconds is just too much.
Yeah.
But
Well, especially after having nothing that entire game.
yeah,
And
that was.
for the first 2 points, they had pretty much no ults. At that point, I don't think they had many kills.
I think they had 8 in total for the whole game.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. So
So you're gonna get ult economy just by standing there because that's how the game works. But they did not have what London had.
yeah, they didn't build it up. Like, it was just like, finally got my ult after 10 minutes of just standing here looking at pictures.
Yeah, essentially. Oh, that was horrible. The Li Jiang set, it was one of those things. Control, I'm always weird with, especially on Li Jiang. Me personally,
Mm-hmm.
I hate that map set. I do not like them.
Yeah, if I recall, first point on Li Jiang,
First was
or,
London.
no, it was Oasis, sorry. First point on Oasis, you guys, I want to say, lost like 100-0. Like, barely even stepped foot on point.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that was dirty. That was one of those like, oh, can't do much about this.
Yeah, and then second point I think was a little bit better, but still, it was just did not look good.
Yeah. Yeah, you're correct. On Oasis in match 2. So this is the
Yeah, this is Friday night.
next day. Yeah, the Friday night game. Sorry. They were 2-0'd. They just did not put up a fight. And that's the unfortunate thing, is they put up I don't want to say good fight, but they put up a fight on their first match, especially going to the tie, forcing it to go to a game 5 and not just letting London sweep it,
Yeah,
because it felt like that's how it was going, after Li Jiang.
yeah,
So that was great. But as soon as I saw how Oasis went, the ride ended. We hit the last thing. We got off, I was on my way to my car, packing up,
yeah.
going, where are my keys? What should I get for dinner tonight kind of thing.
Yeah, it definitely did not feel good on Friday. Even Eichenwald, all right, yeah, they went to overtime on Eichenwald, but
I spent that whole game standing up. As soon as they went into like actual overtime, so like after the third capture,
yeah,
I was like, uh-oh, the boys are here. Here we go.
that was your season. And I'm pretty sure you guys got if I recall, you guys had a quick cap on point.
Oh, we
because you only
capped it.
had maybe like 45 seconds or a minute or something like that. So you capped it in first push, started going, waited
And
for
got
doors to
caught.
open. Yeah, and then just got screwed. Like, you just got stomped. It's like, nope, all right, that's enough.
By the time we got to door, we were already into overtime.
Mm-hmm.
So just getting knocked off at all, that was it. And unfortunately, London knew that going in. So
Yeah.
they're going to go for those different plays of, well, I'm just going to try and disrupt them the most.
Yeah.
That's all they needed to do. They didn't have to worry about kills even, really. Obviously, yeah, you want that to make it even easier, but we all know going in, they were like, oh, this is all I got to do. I almost thought we had it when it was London's turn to capture, and they had to fight so hard.
But they had time.
They had time, but they still had to fight hard. So I was like, oh, here we go. It's happening. The boys are going. The boys didn't go. Well, they did.
They tried.
They went home.
They tried.
Me to be sad for the $70 Chinese food bill.
It's delicious.
You left that here, by the way.
Yeah, I realized that on the way home.
I saw it today. I was like, ooh, I'm going to eat that tonight.
But that was basically the playoffs. I mean, a lot of emotions, a lot of
Screaming.
Chinese food,
Mm.
and that was kind of it.
A lot.
wrapped up a lot faster than I expected. I fully expected one of these to at least go to a game 3.
Me too. I really did.
But it is what it is. Now we just need to wait for Friday for the finals.
So this should be fun. This is going to be Friday and Saturday, 7 p.m. and 4 p.m. respectively, up in New York City. So it's actually by us for once.
And it's sold out, and we can't go.
Yeah, I know.
So,
Yeah, I know.
kind of just
Well,
is.
we can always try and get in there. Just be like, excuse me, we're with Owl Watch.
Yeah.
You've seen us stream, I know, and just walk past them.
Well, more like a run, but sure.
It's fine. So, it's going to be Philly versus London. I'm sure you all can tell who I'm going to pick for this because I've been pretty open about it. But who are you going for this, and why?
We talked about this on, I guess, Saturday when Christina was over, when the match just finished. And I'm riding the London train, man.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what it is. Philly played great, no doubt about it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think there was enough off with New York that it kind of put a little bit of doubt in my mind.
Okay.
And London just kind of went with it. No issues. Just kind of, all right, yeah, we're here. You guys can have point A, but that's all you get. Have fun.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where I'm at. I'm guessing you're feeling the same.
No, I told you I'm going to play League. I don't care about this stupid game anymore.
I figured that's why you're here tonight.
Exactly. No, I am going with London on this. Since their first bout in the playoffs, I felt like I was like, you know what? I respect London. I like London.
Yeah.
So I've been kind of on their train since then. What you remember from last podcast, I couldn't pick between London and LA. I was like,
I know.
ow.
I forced you to pick, which forced me to be the only one that got 2 right last week.
Yeah, because you forced me.
Yeah.
I got the same thing as Valiant. I had a tie in there because I wanted that. You wouldn't give me the tie.
No, we don't do ties in this.
I got London LA'd. I call shenanigans.
Maybe you get a half point, but it still doesn't count.
Mods. Where are mods? I need mods.
We're the only mods we have.
We're
But
not.
we also mentioned this last podcast that if it wasn't Valiant, we wanted the international team to win, which just so happens to be London. And well, we're men of our word. Like,
Yeah.
we want London.
I want London to win this so badly now. A, because I grew up a Mets fan, so I have a large disdain for Philadelphia in its entirety. The whole thing, all of it. So I don't like it. So I don't want them to win on that level. My dad, who doesn't know anything about Overwatch, but knows that New York, or rather I should say Excelsior, is owned by the Mets, is like, I hate the Philly team because I hate the Philly team.
And I was immediately a New York fan. Watched
Yeah.
1 second of it on ESPN2, which, can we talk about how weird that is? Like, they showed it live on ESPN2.
When we were doing some research before, it actually shows all of that on the press page.
Really? I
Yeah,
didn't even notice that.
Let me pull it up. It was like ESPN2, ESPN3, their other channel, like some weird one. I forget
ESPN
it.
88
Yeah, well, obviously. Why?
It's
That's
your
like
sports
saying
one.
ESPN1. We all know that it's that. God.
Still, it freaked me out that it's actually getting there. Like, that's huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure, they're not going to show the normal games, but to show the playoffs, that's a step forward.
Hey, man. Any publicity for it is good publicity.
Oh, absolutely. And I think being in New York, shifting up venue, is going to help a lot. Unfortunately, the New York team's not there, but
It is what it is, but
yeah,
it's one of those things where some people I know are just going to go, which I guess I fall into this category. They beat my team, so now I want them to win. You better earn it kind of thing, you know?
yeah,
Don't beat my team and then lose, because then my team would have won, just that kind of logic.
yeah.
Um,
And considering the Barclays Center has been sold out for weeks, like since they announced it was going to be in New York, I
Yeah, they
think,
announced it. It was done.
yeah, I think there's going to be a great turnout. No matter, it would have been a good turnout no matter who was in there.
Yeah.
Like I know
What
I
I've liked
wanted to
to
go.
see, yeah, oh yeah. Would I've liked to have seen Valiant there? Of course. Would I've liked to seen, like the two LAs fighting in New York? Oh my God, you have no idea.
That'd have been ridiculous.
That'd have been stupid.
Oh yeah,
That'd have been stupid. Oh, but it's just it is what it is. I'm proud of London. I'm proud of Philly. As much as it pains me to say that one, I am proud of all the teams for getting this far to making this as big as it is.
oh
Because
yeah.
way before we started this or even talked about starting this, when this first started, the two of us were like, I don't know if this is going to go anywhere. It might die really quickly.
That was when it was first announced, and then
Yeah.
we watched the first, like, I forget what game I caught of the first week, but I had like annoying audio issues where I just didn't get any audio unless I refresh, and then the stream would freeze, but I get a little bit of audio. I'm like, all right, well, they're just not prepared. It's going to take them a couple weeks, and they're just going to lose viewers.
That was a you problem because I didn't have that problem.
No, I saw that they were having Twitch issues, like major issues, which it could have been on me, but still, it was like one of those
Yep.
freak things that happen. That's like, if
Bad taste in your mouth.
if they can't get it right, then
Yeah.
on that big of a scale, if we can't get it right, forgive us. Like, we're just two dudes trying to have a little fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just kind of left a bad taste in my mouth that it just wasn't right, no matter what would happen. But watching it for a couple of months, it's like, oh shit, this is
Real.
more important than any other sport I'm watching except for hockey. Like,
Yeah.
maybe next year it takes over hockey. Who knows? But
It's one of those things that where I don't think anybody really thought it would blow up that much. And this calls back to our first podcast where they have to worry about contracts now.
yeah,
Because I can almost guarantee the meeting at Blizzard headquarters when they were going over this was like, well, we'll do 2 years. It's probably going to die out after that. Then we won't have to worry about a lot of money. We'll probably have made our money back across the 2 years and we'll be fine.
yeah,
Now they're like, we need more teams. We need more venues. Extend the contracts. Everybody gets new contracts.
yeah. As long as they keep trying to grow it, I think it will keep growing. They just need to push really hard in the first couple of years to make sure it is growing and becomes a worldwide thing. But
Well, I mean, just look at the way they handled the game itself, like Overwatch itself. It was Game of the Year like 2 years in a row. You can't do that. Wasn't out that the second year as like a new release, and they're like Game of the Year, Overwatch.
I mean, I'd give it Game of the Year all the time. I love Overwatch, so
I mean, I'd give RuneScape Game of the Year first, but that's a me thing. Jack X, I love you.
we're just gonna let that go there and get back to topic. So back to the finals.
Yes.
What do you think is actually going to happen? Do you think it's going to be a 2-0? Do you think it's going to be
No,
three
I think
games?
I think it's going to be 3 games. I don't think it's going to be a quick 2-match thing, and I don't think it's going to be a 3-0 in each match. I think it's going to be like 3-2 in each match. I see this being a down and dirty, just slugfest,
Yeah.
aggressive, disgusting plays. I do not see this being a quick, easy set.
I hope you're right. I mean, I have a feeling the Friday game may be the only 3-0 we see.
Okay.
Just,
From who?
I think London.
Okay.
I don't think London has to change up game plan too much to play Philly. I think Philly has to change it up a little bit more to play London.
Okay.
But that's just, I think I've been wrong on pretty much all of the map predictions I've made, aside from that one Philly New York one, the last game.
Okay.
So I don't know. I'm just hoping if we see one, that's one thing, but as long as we don't see a second.
I think that the way we're going to see it is, like I said, 3-2 each match. I think it's going to be London, Philly, London. I think match 2, Philly is going to come out strong, dip a little bit, come back in, and just dominate.
Okay.
And then I think match 3 is going to be, it looks like Philly's going to take an easy win, and then London is going to come in and go, nah, fam, we was kidding. This is for all that tea you ruined. Suck it, nerd, and win.
Okay, fair enough.
You asked my opinion.
No,
You got my.
I would love to see that, especially the press conference afterwards that says exactly what you just said.
Oh, because it's they're gonna say that. I'm gonna go great. You owe Owl Watch 3 cents, please.
No, at this point, just get us a press pass for the next one. Like that's fine.
I'll get that. Yeah, don't worry about that.
Yeah.
Next year, catch us there.
But yeah, no, I hope you're right with how it goes. We see some quality Overwatch. Now this brings up an interesting discussion that we did not talk about, just kind of off the cuff.
Mm-hmm.
MVP for the playoffs.
For the playoffs.
Yeah, there's a separate MVP for the playoffs.
Hold on 1 second.
All right. Well,
Exactly who I want. Just give me 2 seconds.
Okay. I was just
Hold
going to
on.
ask if we're going to be seeing them play Friday and Saturday, or if they're already done.
No, they're playing.
Okay.
No, I know exactly who I want as MVP for the playoffs.
Are you going gesture?
Who am I going? Hold on.
I thought that's what you're looking up.
Where was it?
I'd say the major ones are like Birdring, EQO.
It
Was Birdring?
Bird Ring. Yeah,
Okay.
Bird Ring. I
Yeah.
think that boy's going to come out and go, it's mine for the playoffs. Suck it, Jonak.
Well, Profit's a big one as well. There's somebody from Philly I can't think of right now. He's their main, like widow.
For whom?
Philly, Carpe.
For Philly? Oh, Carpe.
He's kind of their
That's
main.
what
Like,
my dad made fun of.
yes, it is. But he's
My-
good.
Yes, he's great. Little story. As the... What was it? Match 2 for Philly? My dad
Yeah.
called me freaking out because he's like, oh my god, it's on ESPN2. Look, look, look. It's like, oh my god, that's great. And he saw Carpe, and he's like, who's this Carpe? Carpe Diem? I was like, yep. Thanks, Dad. You're the best. Making fun of Philly like a true New Yorker.
Yeah, but they're still in it. So I don't know. I think we're gonna see some good Overwatch here.
So why don't we bet a beer on who we think? Obviously, we may just watch, but I think Bird Ring.
It's honestly who I was gonna pick before this. All right, I'll go with Carpe.
All right.
I mean, at this point, it's kind of just pick a team for the
I
player
think-
to be on at this point.
Okay.
Because
I think London is just going to take this, and I think they're going to be on London's team at the end of the day. If it's not Bird Ring, it's going to be someone there.
I have an odd feeling that it could be on Philly because of what happened with New York. But, I mean, who knows?
Yeah.
We'll see what happens with that.
So, well, just a quick recap. I will be picking London for my champion, and I think it will be going to match 3-2 out of the 3 matches, and I think it's going to be London, Philly, London. And then let us know again what your picks are and how you think it's going to play out.
Yeah, I'm also going London in 3 matches, but I think it might be like London 3-0, then Philly 3-1, and then 3-2 in the final match.
So you think that it's going to get harder each time?
Yeah, I think we might see a little bit more of, or even like, we're not going to see 3-2, 3-2, 3-2.
Mhm.
I think we're going to see like a 3-0 or 3-1, and then 3-0, 3-1, one of those. And then the last one is just going to be ridiculous.
Yeah, that's one that we should try and figure out something for that to watch that last one. We're currently waiting on emails back from the Blizzard team, the Overwatch League team, the Overwatch team,
They're-
and something else on what we can do
well,
with
just
any kind of
all of their PR department. Because yeah, if we
So-
can get licensing for their clips, or just say we don't even have any sort of licensing, we're just being ultra cautious, don't want to do anything stupid. But if we can get something like that, then we may have some footage of breaking down whatever happens.
that,
do
or
the
we may
finals.
be able to
Stream
watch
over it.
with you guys and give you our thoughts as we go. So
Yeah,
once we find out, you guys will know.
eventually.
Hopefully.
Hopefully they get back to us. But other than that, I think we're kind of out of topics for this one. This is a short one for us.
Yeah, I mean we're at the end of the season. They're probably going to wait until the end of the season, like once it's done, the Champions Crown, to be able to go over anything else. And
Yeah.
that's when we go over teams and all that. So, but thank you all again for
Yeah.
joining
Thank you
us.
so much. Well,
This is our third episode,
yep.
which I didn't think we would get here, and we are here, and it's getting a little bit easier each time. We're getting more people. Thank you to the one new follower we got, whose name I forgot because I'm a jerk.
Let me find that for you.
Thank you,
Cog Whistle. Yep.
Thank you, Cogwhistle, for our first on-stream follow.
Yeah.
Real MVP. Anything you'd like to finish off on?
Go London.
London.
I mean, it's that simple. Go London, and I hope you guys enjoy the finals on Friday and Saturday.
Go London. I hope you all enjoy the first championship match for Overwatch League. Thank you again, and you'll be hearing from us screaming probably in your own living rooms as it gets really down and dirty.
Yeah. So, all right. Have a good one, everybody.
I'm gonna keep my arms up because it's cool. Goodbye.
Kind of just want to hold it there so you get tired.
Goodbye.
Bye, everyone.